Are there any petitions, memorials, or presentments of grand juries, such like papers? The reading clerk will publish.
Message from former Lieutenant Governor Ken Ard to the Honorable Nikki Haley, Governor of the State of South Carolina, dated March 9, 2012. Dear Governor Haley, I have determined that it is in the best interest of our state and the people of South Carolina for me to resign from the office of Lieutenant Governor. Therefore, effective at 10 a.m. this morning, with this letter, I hereby tender my resignation as Lieutenant Governor of South Carolina. By copy to Jeff Gossett, Clerk of the South Carolina Senate, I am informing him of my decision to resign from office. Yours very truly, Ken Ard.
Thank you. Received his information. This time, I recognize the Senator from Charleston, the President pro tempore, has the pleasure of the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the Senate. Very difficult day for me. When I walked into the Senate 31 and a half years ago, I saw in that chair, the occupied today, Senator Marion Gressett, President pro tem, Chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. He became an inspiration to me about the importance of this institution as a deliberative body where detail and fairness were the norms for operation. I was one of only 5 Republicans that year, and yet I was welcomed as an active participant in the process of legislation. His character and values became my goal as a legislator. Thus, it caused me to make a decision early on to stay in this body and accumulate seniority to become the chairman of the Judiciary Committee and ultimately the President pro tempore. Thanks to Senator Marshall Williams' gentle persuasion, I hung in there after Senator Gressett's passing, and I learned from Senator Williams how goodwill and fairness could advance the process of good legislation. His goal was never to garner a headline, but rather to achieve headway. Senator Don Holland was another chairman of the Judiciary Committee who reinforced the ideals of the 2 previous chairmen. And I will always remember him for his consistency and his loyalty to this institution. Again, on the President pro tempore side, I'd be remiss if I did not remember Senator John Drummond, who reinforced the importance of overcoming party lines and dealing with the senators as equal participants rather than partisans. He always pleaded with the Senate to be the Senate and rise up to whatever challenge faced it. We saw that when we passed the DOA bill and the way this chamber operated. Over the years, many of you have contributed to my experience here in the South Carolina Senate. Time will not allow me to recall all of those events, but I do want to take a moment and ask my staff, Heather Anderson, Bonnie Anselmo, Paula Benson, Susan Kraft, Becky Gunner, J.J. Gentry, Debbie Hammond, John Hazard, Dwight Jones, Katie King, Sharon Scholl, Jane Schuler, Laurie Trawick, Catherine Wells, Mae Wilson, Diana Riley, Luke Dennis, Emma Hall, and Natalie Vereenes. If they would stand or raise their hands, I want to thank you for the support. Further, I want to take this opportunity to, on the President pro tem side, I cannot today handle all of the people that have helped me on the floor, but sometimes when you're President pro tem, I've had to handle some sticky situations along the way. Lawsuits that I have to handle. The President pro tempore is not just sitting there. It entails a lot of other duties, and over the years, the guy that I have consistently gone to, the senator, every time unfortunately, when the tick nailed me with 2 bites in the neck and did what it did to me, Senator from Richland, Senator Corson, he's really been a senator to me. I kid him a lot about Barry Goldwater and whatever, but Senator, I have to say, most of them do not know how many times I called you, how many times I asked you if I was doing the right thing, what should I do, and I want to thank you. I also want to thank, where's the senator from Darlington, Senator Malloy? He's not here. On the way. Well, on one of the most challenging points of being President pro tempore is sometimes when you have to do some stuff on behalf of the chamber. And it was a lonely weekend, and I just can never forget the friendship that he extended to me in the helping hand. And I would be remiss if I did not turn to my old friend from Charleston, Senator Robert Ford, who over the years has encouraged me. One of the great things he did, he and I clashed over some heritage issues and everything. And as we debated, we learned we had a lot more in common. He taught me about African American history, inspired me. It would go on with my good friend, Representative Gilda Cobb Hunter. We did the monument outside so that our grounds speak to everyone, and we completed the circle of history. But Senator, over the years, I don't know, as President Pro Tem, times we've talked, the things you've told me, the encouragement you've given me to plow along in here and not to, how can I just say thank you? You know, it's two people, opposite parties, the friendship, the understanding can bridge, and I just want to say thank you. Debating bills, making amendments, and moving legislation forward have been some of the joys of service in the South Carolina Senate. The Senate was built on collegiality and a deep respect for the process. Sadly, partisanship has raised its head over the years and even now threatens to erode the deliberative atmosphere that is so essential to good legislation. As your President pro tempore, I have tried to create an atmosphere of nonpartisanship and mutual respect. I believe at the end of the day, the only majority that truly matters is that we're all South Carolinians. As chairman of the Judiciary Committee, I did the same thing. Some of the great senators I called previously by name instilled in me an understanding of how essential it is that we all work together if this body is to function in a thorough way for the vetting of ideas and the making of laws. I've tried in my 11 and a half years as chairman of the Judiciary and as President pro tempore to deal with each of you as senators, not as Democrats and Republicans. The highlight of my public service has been the ability to engage in this legislative process. I've fought with you and I've fought against you. I have over the years been very insistent upon the strict construction of the Constitution and the need for the Senate to test each law for its constitutionality before it moves forward. I have warned about the pitfalls of the constitutional act of piggybacking non-germane and totally different subjects on a bill because of time running out in a session. Our Constitution is very clear on that matter, and bobtailing is a practice which any future President pro tempore will need to be on the lookout for. The standard that I've applied to other things is now what I must apply to myself. You see, I've been doing for the people of Senate District 41 in this state what I've always wanted to do. Giving it up is indeed a sad moment for me. That is why I stand here today, a little bit somber and a little bit saddened, because what I will lose today when I take the oath of office is Lieutenant Governor. But for the people of South Carolina who hear these words today or read them in the future, I want them to know that what I do today should not be considered remarkable. If what I'm doing is considered special, then it's a sad indictment of the public's view of elected officials and our commitment to what is right. Today, we remind the public that oaths of office matter, and people should and can expect that whoever takes the oath of office as President pro tempore will do as they are sworn to do and fulfill the constitutional duty of becoming Lieutenant Governor if there is a permanent vacancy in that office. Today, I simply performed the duty I swore to do when I took the oath of office as President pro tempore. Robert E. Lee said, and I quote, "Duty is the most sublime word in our language. Do your duty in all things. You cannot do more. You should never wish to do less." End of quote. What I do today is what every person who seeks and holds public office should be prepared to do. Fulfill the oath of office we made to discharge the duties of the office to which we are elected, and uphold the Constitution of the state and the United States. Upholding our oaths is not really a sacrifice. It's simply a way of honoring a promise we made to those who sent us here. and that we ask God to bear witness to. But if we ask God to bear witness to the pact between the governed and their representatives, then we should also be prepared for God to hold us accountable as to whether we have honored that commitment. When I learned that the lieutenant governor might resign, and eventually had resigned his office, I knew that I had a moral obligation to take my oath of office and to the Constitution of this state. I certainly was planning on running for re-election and hopefully serving again in this august chamber because I love this body and serving the people of South Carolina. Knowing what it is costing me, the decision was a hard one to make, but I knew I had to do. Even knowing you're doing the right thing doesn't make the decision to do the right thing an easy one. But my oath compels me to do the right thing, no matter how difficult it may be to me personally. Each Sunday morning before Mass, I pray to God to not allow power to corrupt me and to have my conscience speak to me about what is right. Although I'm saddened by what I must do, I take comfort in knowing that I've honored what I promised God to do. To my critics who said I created this, if this is what you meant by saying I was making my own bed, and I think I made an honorable bed and I'll lie in it. Our oaths of office are short statements. We swear to discharge specific duties and uphold the Constitution. It is a clear and unambiguous statement of what is expected of an office holder. During my entire political career, I have consistently fought against those who would twist or manipulate the Constitution for their personal political gain. Our state and nation suffer because of those who do not take their oath seriously and treat our constitutions as simply a means to an end. During my entire political career, I've fought to uphold the Constitution, and I will not stop upholding the Constitution no matter how difficult it may be to me personally. It's more important that I exercise the duties of the office for which I've been elected and uphold my oath. I will not contort the words of both the Constitution and my oath of office in order to keep a position that I might personally prefer. Nor should we ever allow that in the future. People of South Carolina have spoken through their Constitution as to what they require of their government. The Constitution intends that the President pro tempore of the Senate step up when a permanent vacancy in the office of Lieutenant Governor occurs. That is the clear constitutional duty of the President pro tempore. I will carry out the Constitution as I swore to do in accordance with the language as written. That is why I will soon take the oath of office as a Lieutenant Governor and thereby vacate my Senate seat. This has been one of the most difficult decisions I've ever faced. The greatest honor of my career has been representing the people of District 41 in the South Carolina Senate. But I came here with a deep commitment to the Constitution, and I will not abandon it now by not doing what I know is right. I hope I lead this body as an example to senators today and in the future of what we expected to do when duty calls. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
At this time, I'm going to ask the Chief Justice of the South Carolina Supreme Court to come to the well and administer the oath of office. Madam Chief Justice.
Mr. President pro tempore, Mr. Acting President, Mr. Speaker, gentlemen of the Senate, members of the House of Representatives, ladies and gentlemen, when the history of South Carolina in this age is set down, the name of Glenn F. McConnell will be writ large as a man who upheld the rule of law and abided by the sacred nature of the oath he swore to defend the Constitution of South Carolina and the honor of his office as the senator from Charleston and president pro tempore of this body, no matter what the personal cost. His courage, his integrity, his intense sense of duty, unwavering and unapologetic, is our bright and shining star, the quintessential exemplar of everything that is good and decent in a true servant of the people. Senator McConnell, come forward once again to pledge your fidelity to the citizens of South Carolina and to your oath as Lieutenant Governor. I, Glenn F. McConnell, do solemnly swear that I am duly qualified, according to the Constitution of this state, to exercise the duties of the office of Lieutenant Governor of South Carolina, and that I will, to the best of my ability, discharge the duties thereof, and preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of this state and of the United States. So help me God. Lieutenant Governor, will you sign the oath?
While he's signing the oath, if the majority leader, the senator from Cherokee, and the minority leader, the senator from Clarendon, would step forward with the robe.
I present for robing the Lieutenant Governor of South Carolina, the Honorable Glenn F. McConnell.
And now, I now ask the governor and the Secretary of State to present the commission to Lieutenant Governor McConnell.